Dana, are you nuts? I said, who's the all-time biggest badass, not who's a dude nobody's heard about.
Everyone knows Danar.
No, they don't.
She totally outsmarted Picard, and he has amazing hair.
Well, what about Khan, right? Khan was a genetically engineered supervillain. Dude was a space seed.
What's up, lore masters? In this video, we're analyzing the Star Trek Lower Decks episode, Veritas. At the end of the day, this episode is really just having fun with the trope of Trek officers being put on trial while attempting to do the right thing and save the day. It also has an honest analysis of how things really work on a Federation starship. Let's just get into it.
Oh man, they have all of our commanders suspended in a beam!
There are two basic plots for this episode. That is of the quote-unquote trial and that of the secret Romulan mission. While they are intermixed when you watch it, I'll be separating them for the purposes of this breakdown. The first thing we'll be analyzing is the trial itself. The lower decks personnel find themselves placed into what appears to be a jail cell and hoisted up and told only to speak the truth about what has occurred in the past. How they got there is never addressed because... I don't know, quantum, I guess? They are surrounded by hostiles and a warrior begins questioning them. They try to answer the questions the menacing figure wants as the senior crew can be seen suspended in air in some form of beam. This beam looks to be holding them in very uncomfortable positions. They are forced to stand in specific ways, which I think would hurt their backs, but that's just me. As the lower decks are questioned, the warrior becomes more and more frustrated,
We got eels. There's eels over here.
threatening them and putting some of the lower decks in a tank of eels. An interesting tidbit, while eels look scary as fuck, they are actually not all that hostile, unless you scare them or you hurt them. Yeah, we'll probably come back to that in a moment. The most intriguing part of the entire trial is that it really shines a light on Starfleet starship operations. It honestly is very reminiscent of TNG's Lower Decks episode. It's not really the job of Mariner, Boimler, and the others to know what is going on. To expect them to know is unrealistic. It's their job to follow orders and trust that they are doing what's best. In a way, this feels like the Warrior is a stand-in for the Phantom Menace. The unreasonable expectations of not only Starfleet officers, but the lower decks specifically, is quite on display here. While the dialogue of the next generation would make us think that all Starfleet officers walk on water, they simply don't when you look at the episodes, even episodes in TNG. They make mistakes, they aren't sure of what's going on all the time, and well, they're only human. Not only this, but honestly, Boimler is absolutely right when he discusses the conundrum.
We're lower decks. No one ever tells us what's going on. We're not important enough to have anything to lie to you about.
You're Starfleet! Surely you must be briefed on every contingency.
Yeah, I wish. The senior officers don't always have time to keep us up to speed. Hell, sometimes they don't even know what's going on.
Most officers, and sometimes even the senior crew, don't know what's going on, and that's okay. Starfleet officers have to deal with 100 things at any given time. It would be insurmountable to run every aspect of the ship and still deal with the issue of the day. This is the exact reason Starfleet ships have hundreds, if not thousands, of people on them. I'm not going to spoil what the trial actually is, but it is entirely contrived and the use of the eels makes no sense. It's just to throw everyone off. So with that, let's look at the B-plot.
What are you two doing back here? You've drawn my attention.
Distract him with the fan dance!
I'm sorry, my what now?
Dance, boy, dance!
The plan to invade Romulan space is sketchy at best. We don't know a ton about it. There are a lot of holes. As you would expect with the lower decks personnel, they all play different parts in the story that aren't connected, and we never get a full understanding because the lower decks personnel wouldn't. The episode does a good job of showing why the lower decks wouldn't get all the information. It's just done in a comedic way. It is a comedy show. That said, we do get a good observation of what the lower decks have to go through and how in the dark they really are. We see them dealing with adversity and prove to be Starfleet. To be fair, there is a lot of fluff here, but you do get the point of where they're going. I will say that what I do like is the episode has Tendi and Rutherford shining. They get actual arcs, and it's great. What's sad is I did have to come back in the script to write this part in. This isn't the norm, but they fit so well and are written so well that when they do it, it just makes sense. I just wish they had done this the entire time. This is a great episode for Tindy and Rutherford. This episode is a comedic and good look at how operations work for those who aren't on the bridge. But all of these are my opinions. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.
Oh, pause for a second. I want to talk about Khan and that thick chest, but I gotta pee.
Roga Danar. Get the out of my face.